What's up, strongest men, women, and children from blocks all around the world? I am my block strongest man, and tonight I have for you two very special guests, hot off their incredible performance at Official Strongman Games 2021, Inez Carrasquillo and Erin Murray. What's up, ladies?
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, thanks so much for joining. I think the audience is going to be super stoked to have you on, and I think we just should get started by just talking about how you got the invite. So how long have you been in Strongman, and kind of what's briefly been your journey up until now? And what was the moment like getting that email about, hey, you're invited to Official Strongman Games?
Oh, I'll start, I guess. So I did get my invite before my Rainier competition in August. Lynn reached out and said, hey, you interested in coming to the Official Strongman Games and competing? He saw some of my Instagram videos and was pretty impressed with like my log and some of my bag throws and, some of my better events. And he said, I want to see what you got and come to Official Strongman Games. And I said, oh, let's do it. Leading up, I did compete at the Rainier Pro-Am. That was in Seattle or Rainier, wherever. She's from there. So, and it was an awesome competition to be against pros like Victoria Long, Corey Butler, Kim Dirks. They're amazing athletes, and to be able to keep up with them. And I got second place, at that meet, and it was really awesome. And that was kind of like my prep, for a bigger meet such as Official Strongman Games, because before that, my only other meet was Beast of the Bluegrass, and that was in December of 2020. And there was only 3 in my weight class competing. And, that was my Arnold invite that I got. And Arnold was canceled this year, as you know. So we were like, we need another competition to kind of like get prepped for this. So Rainier popped up and we were like, let's do it. So that was basically my build up for OSG. So yeah.
I haven't really
Rainier was a pretty heavy show too, as I remember.
What was that?
I said Rainier was a pretty heavy show, as I remember.
It was a very heavy show. It was, that everything was pretty heavy. The axle was 220 pounds, clean and press away. It was a Trump stone. It was 270 or 330, and a 330 pound stone over bar. It was really heavy. It was the heaviest show I ever did. And it was really fun to get prepped for, because a lot of the events I never did before because I've only been doing this for a year. So I had to learn how to belt clean. I had to learn how to pick up bigger stones. My gym did not have anything really bigger than a 300-pound stone. So had to, use other gyms and like try to figure out how to prep for that show. And that was just really exciting.
Yeah, I mean, during OSG, actually, as you know, Big Laws was doing the commentary, and he and I are kind of buddies. So he mispronounced your name, and I gave him a hard time on one of my videos. And I was like, hey, we got to keep you in the U.S. a little longer so you can learn about our stars, because we all know who Inez is.
Yeah, like they were saying that I came from Puerto Rico, but, I'm born and raised in Chicago. I am Puerto Rican, and I really wanted to represent Puerto Rico at the Official Strongman Games. There's not a lot of representation, for Puerto Rico in sports like this. So I really wanted to, hone in on my heritage and bring that to the Official Strongman Games this year. And a lot of people did come up to me, and they were like, we've never seen this. Like, we never had someone, from Puerto Rico, like, represent this. And it was really awesome for people to come up to me and say, like, that felt really good to feel represented here. And that's really what I wanted to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think you really touch a lot of people that way. I specifically, like, I have friends who live in Puerto Rico, and I'm going to like send this link to them so they can be proud too.
Yeah, no, I seriously appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. So Erin, kind of what's your journey? And you are a pro, right? Inez, are you pro yet, or just awesome?
I am still an amateur.
Okay.
I will be doing the Arnold Amateur, hopefully in March, to try to get my pro card then.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so dovetailing off of that, Erin, what was your journey to your pro card? And then after that, kind of, what was your experience getting the invite to OSG, and what were those moments like for you?
Yeah, so I've been in this for a while. Actually, coincidentally, yesterday was the 6-year anniversary of my first Strongman show. So that was actually kind of cool. So I've been doing this for a little bit. I got my pro card in 2019. That was my third nationals. Like the first time I went, I think I got 7th, and then I got 5th my second year. Then 2019 was finally my year, and I won. I won nationals then, and then I got 2nd place at the Arnold the following year. And then I haven't done a whole lot since then. I went and did nationals as a heavyweight last year. Also, I was trying to get my heavyweight pro card too. Training for it was great, was feeling really good going to the show, and then I tore my calf on the first event. So it wasn't really a great show for me. So OSG's kind of been my first show back since then. It was kind of like my redemption show. So I got my invite back in like June or July. Lynn just emailed me just kind of based on my accomplishments in the sport so far, and I got invited to do the new 73 class. So I've been spending this whole year cutting down. I walk around at like 185 normally, so I've been dieting down all year and trying to get little for this one. So this has just been the focus for me all year.
Well, back with a bang. If that was your redemption show, you surely made a statement.
Yeah, I don't like losing.
I can tell that. I mean, you for folks that watched, you went in with the war paint, and I mentioned during one of my videos, I'm like, you and Nancy Johnson went to war on that log press for sure.
Yeah, no, that was fun. We've done wonders on my overhead. Working with Alex been great on that. It's never been like a bad event for me, but we really turned that out. So, and we just decided to train for this one. I was actually originally going to do Rainier also. And we just kind of decided that we just winning this show was the only thing that mattered this year. So. Oh, I think we lost your audio.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I said singular focus. I can definitely appreciate that. And I'm actually a little bit sad that Isaac couldn't make it because he lives in Washington also.
Sorry, who was that?
Oh, Isaac.
Isaac, our co-host who couldn't make it this evening.
Yeah. Oh, bummer.
Yeah. He's in Washington also. Yep. Yeah. So, but Rainier was a great show. It's funny because, like I said, I was mentioning to Laz about your accomplishments, and I said, yeah, like I should send you some notes about Rainier so you can kind of get your knowledge about Inez up to snuff, because she came in second to the, and I say this, not to put anybody else down. I said she came in second to the unbeatable Victoria Long, and that's quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, close too.
3 points.
Yeah, very close.
Gave her a run.
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing, Inez, I was wondering about, like, your log press was unbelievable at OSG. Being, at least you look like on TV, a taller competitor, one would think the log has further to travel. Was that something to overcome in your training when you first started doing log, or it wasn't a thing?
I actually have T-Rex arms. I am 6'2" with a 5'6" wingspan, so I have very short arms. When I was a power lifter, my bench was ridiculous because it was not a lot of distance. But the thing with log and like overheads was the only thing I had to overcome was like the fear of pressing something over my head. And Alec was always like, hey, if it falls on your head, it falls on your head. Like, you can get under it and you're strong enough to press it. So it was just like learning how to not be afraid to press things because he knew I could do it. And once that fear was gone, like, I'll press anything over my head. I said, if I could clean it, I'm going to press it. And if I drop it on my head, I drop it on my head. It was my fault.
It's funny. I'm an idiot. So I'm the opposite. I go like on trails in the woods and I like pressing stone. So it never occurred to me like this could fall on my head until I was on a Facebook group and somebody was giving instruction to like a younger kid about, hey, be careful that this won't drop on your head. And I'm like, maybe I better be more careful.
That's the fun of it, though.
You got reflexes.
Yeah.
True.
Hopefully.
You have reflexes. I'm old. I don't have reflexes.
They're going away slowly.
That's awesome. So, so we talked about log press a bit. Do either of you have a favorite event at OSG that you feel like, I mean, all of them went fairly well, but which was your favorite?
Well, I mean, for me, just like stones went really well. Like that was just my best stone run ever. So like that just for me was an exciting event. Typically yoke is my favorite. And it went fine. That was a little bit of a bummer. Right at the end, I've watched that video like a million times because it freaks me out now. Like the car like veered to the side because like we got to the end and like my knee like caved in, and then like the car just decided to like yeet this way. But like I'm impressed that I didn't drop it because that almost happened. So I think that like yoke is my favorite event for sure. And like the car yoke just looked really cool. And ultimately, I'm just glad that I didn't fuck it up when it almost happened.
How was so with the fitting of the yoke inside the car? I know on the commentary they were talking about how it's basically one size yoke fits all, and some of the athletes are broader than others. Like, how was the fit for both of you?
It was really narrow, and like just for me, it actually wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be. But like usually a yoke is quite a bit wider, and like my cranky shoulders kind of had a little bit of a hard time like just squeezing in there. It wasn't as bad as I expected, but it was not roomy.
Yeah, I mean, oh, go ahead, Inez.
Yeah, I'm not very broad, but I know, like, I picked it up and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna tear my pec. It did not feel good, especially after log. I was like, it was very narrow. I have a very standard Rogue yoke at my gym, so it's a lot wider. I liked the handles though; they were round and not square, so you could get like a really good grip on them. That was my best yoke run I've ever done in my life at that meet. In training, I dropped it like 7 times in the run, and we were like, operation, just don't drop it. And I was kind of racing with Britta, and she had me, and then it was just like that last drop, and I was like, please don't drop it, please don't drop it. And like I was like slow and steady. I was very, very slow. It was not a great run, but like for me it was successful because I didn't drop it, and that was like the mental barrier I had to get over going into that.
Yeah, a lot of competitors dropped it, so I think that's quite a success to not drop that. It was heavy. Even the lightest car was heavy.
It was 575 empty.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's so cool. I love it.
Yeah, that was my least favorite event.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Which was your favorite event?
Oh, bags. I love bags. I'll throw bags all day.
So only because I haven't gotten that far in the live stream yet, my favorite event of you is log.
I knew I was going to hit it over 10. I made a bet with my coach that I'd hit 14. I lost my bet, but I was like, I wanted to hit it over 10 because I hit it for 10 in training. That was the first time I've ever had a body weight, like overhead in a comp too, which was kind of cool. I'm at the lowest body weight I've ever been in my life, and to go in and press my body weight for 12 was kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been following your journey on IG, so I'm aware. But yeah, that's really cool. But yeah, I mean, I wrote down in my notes like, wow, when I saw that, I just couldn't believe how much easier it was for you than everybody else. It was as a fan, as a spectator, it was quite a sight to see.
No, thank you.
Yeah, cool. But yeah, tell me more about bag.
I love bags. It was like an event that he was like, all right, go pick up a bag and see if you could throw it. And I hit the sprinkler system at my gym, and I was like, oh shoot, I could throw these. And so my gym owner at Surge New Levels in Chicago, he was like, yeah, no, you're not throwing bags in here anymore. You got to throw them outside. I've had bags on the roof. I just love. It's just fun. I was a thrower in high school, and I did it in college for a year, and I really enjoy throwing things, and it's just a fun, explosive, like you lift all this heavy stuff at a 700-pound yoke. The deadlift ladder ate me alive, and it was just heavy, heavy, heavy. And it's like, I get to throw some bags and have some fun with this. And it's just like explosive. And like, I like the more athletic events where it's like the carry and drag medley. That was so much fun because like, I loved being an athlete, in high school and college. And it's like, those are the events that are like, you get to run, it's a little bit heavy, and like that sled was very heavy though. It's not a little bit heavy. I meant that sled was very heavy. It was 400 pounds empty plus the 2 implements. So it was like, I felt very bad for the lightweight women that did not have the weight to like pull it.
It sucked.
Yeah, I mean, Lynn Morehouse was on Big Laz's channel, and he said that in previous OSGs there was a 3rd implement, and he took that out this year. I can't imagine.
Yeah, well, the 3rd implement in 2019 was just put on the side, and then it was the 2 implements in it. So it's about the same weight, but that extra run, I can't imagine how out of breath I would have been.
Yeah, but like a lot of people weren't finishing it.
Yeah,
I guess that's why they cut it down, because it's not fun to watch everyone fail.
Yeah, and it's hard. Yeah.
So did either of you have a favorite competitor maybe you never competed with before who you thought at OSG like, hey, it was pretty cool to meet them and compete against them?
So, I mean, kind of yes and no. I actually personally made a point to like not look at the list beforehand. So like I didn't really like obviously just because of like Instagram, I knew some people that were going to be doing the meet, but I just know that I get really in my head about things. So like I really made a point to like not look at the sign up list, like really try to like not look up people. I kind of like I let Alec kind of worry about that for me. So I kind of went in not knowing everyone in my class, and then even when I get there, I really just I know I'd probably come across like a bitch at contests because I really just try not to pay attention to anyone else, not like in a mean way, but just like I'm just gonna do my thing, and like it's just like for me mentally that's what I need. So, and I guess not the answer you're looking for, but like for me it's just I try to not pay attention to what other people are doing. So
Yeah, no, focus is important for sure. And you had some stiff competition in there as well. Erin Walclad is
it was
pretty successful. Yeah. So, but
it was cool
focus
to
is
see like
important.
yeah, it's cool to see like with even with it being a new class, like I think some people were kind of worried about it not filling up, but I think it ended up being a super stacked class, which is awesome. Like it makes it way more fun.
Yeah. So actually, I was wondering. I don't know if this is a question to ask you or to ask her, but Christina Bangma is usually lightweight, and she ended up in this class. Do you happen to know why?
Uh, did she not make weight, or did she choose to come up? I don't
Yeah,
actually
I
know.
have no idea.
I don't actually know.
All right.
Yeah.
Just figured I'd ask. Cool.
Yeah.
Inez, how about you? Like same sort of singular focus? Because you had like there
No.
was I gotta say that, yeah, there was some hype around Olga coming and stuff like that. So what was your thought process?
Oh, I'm the biggest fangirl ever. So like on in weigh-ins, I spotted out. I knew everybody that was coming. I stalk them on Instagram because I just want to meet them because I'm like, it's awesome to be around other heavyweights. I don't have anybody to train with that's a heavyweight. So like to see all these women that are like big like me and like in my class, I'm like, I gotta know everybody. I'm gonna see what they look like and I'm gonna spot them out. And like on weigh-ins, I was like, hi, my Nez, like I am obsessed with you. And I just wanted to meet everybody. I'm new too, so like I fangirl over everybody because I'm like, you guys are the reason why I wanted to do this. Like, there's people my size that are killing it out here, and you guys can do it. So like, and I want to be able to do that too. And even during the comp, like we're all hugging each other, and the heavyweights are like dancing in the back. Like we were just having a lot of fun. And it's just like very different than Erin. We're like complete opposites. I'm like listening to music in the Airbnb and I'm listening to like death metal and she's classical music doing her makeup. And I'm just like fooling around and I'm not a very serious person. So like complete opposite.
Very different.
Yeah.
Competition styles.
But I was very excited to meet Annabelle Chapman.
She's such a sweetheart.
I
love her.
She's the biggest sweetheart. We talked on Instagram for weeks leading up and I was very excited to meet her. Super excited to meet Rebecca Roberts. Just all the girls overseas in Europe, and Olga fangirled over her super hard. I hugged her very awkwardly. I felt really bad, but I was like, I need to meet you, and I'm so sorry I'm getting you out of your zone, but I just need to talk to you. And yeah, it was just really awesome to meet those girls. I've watched 2019 OSG on YouTube probably 1,000 times and watched them compete over and over and over again. And it was so awesome to watch them in person and get to meet them. And we all went out afterwards, and it was really cool to hang out with my new friends. So
That's awesome. A great experience. I have more questions about that, but real quick, I do have a sponsor for this live stream. So for anybody watching who hasn't liked the stream yet, what are you waiting for? Click the like button. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet. And let's have a listen to our sponsor, Garage Gym Life Media, who's doing some awesome things to bring to light all the great things happening in garage gym culture.
In a home gym, especially if you're training by yourself, can be tough because sometimes you just don't have the motivation to go in your garage or your basement and get it done. And that's why we stream competitions every month on the Garage Gym Life Media YouTube channel. I'm John Greaves, the third founder of Garage Gym Life Media, and after 20 years of training in a home gym, I can tell you that there's some days when I just don't feel like training. And those are the days when I put on some sort of training video or other strength-related content to give me the extra motivation I need to get in there and get it done. There is nothing more motivating than seeing people achieving their goals at a powerlifting meet or a strongman competition. And that's why month after month, we provide that content to you right there in the comfort of your own home on our YouTube channel. Plus, we leave it up forever so you can always just throw it on in the background anytime you need that extra dose of motivation to get you going. And that's why, if you're not already a subscriber to Garage and Light Media, I invite you to take advantage of this opportunity to add this powerful training tool into your arsenal, because I want you to succeed right there in the best gym in town.
And thanks again to Garage Gym Life Media for sponsoring this live stream. I've actually worked with them in the past on Central Georgia's Strongest Man, Mammoth Strain Challenge, and we have one coming up in February, South Carolina's Strongest Man and Woman, where yours truly is going to be doing color commentary. So thanks again to them. But my next question was, did you both, or at least Inez, watch UK Strongest Woman, where you could kind of scout out Annabelle and Becca Roberts?
Yeah, I did. And it was crazy that Annabelle did wuss right before it. And then she literally flew out and did that and won both shows. That was so impressive.
So that one was Britain's. I know they're very similar. She did UK's before that, but she did wuss and Britain's 2 days apart or a day and a half apart or something crazy. Yeah,
that was insane. I don't know how she does
I thought I was misreading it when I saw it on Instagram. I said, I must be looking at something where I'm not reading the date correctly. And then I'm like, wait a minute. She actually literally got on a plane and went and won another show.
Yeah, I don't know how she does it. I couldn't move after day one.
I still can't move.
That's funny. Yeah, but I mean, from watching UK's, I told everybody, because, Annabelle became well known for that kind of double header there, but I said, everybody watch out for Becca Roberts, and I guess I was right on that one.
Yeah, she's come so far, and I've been watching her training videos too, and it was just really awesome to see how far she's come, and to take it all this year. That was really awesome. We're so happy for her.
Yeah, Strong Woman is really coming into its own and gaining some popularity, and that's really wonderful to watch. Becca Roberts came second to Donna Moore in that show, so it's really saying a lot. And yeah, I'm just so excited about all of the all my strong female friends that we get to chat with now.
Yeah, it's a lot of us now. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, Erin, you said your favorite event at OSG was the car walk.
I mean, yes. Well, favorite event overall. I mean, yoke is always my favorite event. I just think it's really cool and I'm good at it. So, but at this contest specifically, stones are my proudest moment for this show specifically. Not just it being a great run, but just sticking to the plan. For me, it was just kind of an athletic, I guess, kind of maturity moment of sticking to the plan no matter what, where I knew the whole time that Jody was ahead of me. And just the ability to stay calm and just stick with my own pace, do what I know I have to do. She's ahead of me. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Just do it the way that you practiced. And it worked out. There wasn't a panic moment of trying to rush. I think just for me, that was the proudest moment, not a physical ability thing, but just mentally, just staying cool about it. Which was just really big.
And is that something you apply to basically every event? Because Big Laws talks about that a lot too. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Just do the best that you can perform that day.
Yeah, I mean, I try to, but it's obviously really hard. I always joke that I really need blinders for when I compete, because as much as that's your intention, it's really hard to apply that in the moment, especially in things like yoke, where where's a race where you see someone pulling ahead of you. It's really hard to not be oh shit, I gotta go faster. And I had a couple of those little slips earlier in the weekend. It's not really bad, but there were a couple of moments that I didn't quite stick to the plan because I thought I needed to rush. That happened with the deadlift. And I think that's what made stones even more important, because I did fuck up the deadlift. That's a ladder that I pulled in training and I didn't stick to the plan. I saw that Jody was ahead of me and I rushed the last one when the plan was to take a 15-second break, and I didn't do it. And I got the bar to my knees and couldn't lock it out because I didn't do what I was supposed to. So finishing the weekend on a note of just sticking to the plan, doing what I was supposed to, and having it work out, it was just a good note to end on.
Yeah, I mean, you still did decent on deadlift, did you not? First of all, well, let me ask this. What was so hard about that deadlift ladder? For folks that have never done a deadlift ladder, why was it hard?
Well, first of all, it's really heavy. I mean, our last deadlift, like as a 73, like I'm not that big, and the last deadlift was 530. Like, first of all, it's just really heavy deadlift, and then having to do it fast for me particularly too. Like I can't over under grip very well, so that's something I had to work on a lot because I'm like I have to do that. Like strapping in for every bar is not an option if you're trying to win a race. So like, that made it hard, and then that mammoth bar is a son of a bitch. like that bar is nasty. Like it looks cool, but
I didn't get to touch it. You know.
Yeah, so like besides it just being really heavy, like that bar is really hard to pull on.
Like flex wise?
Yeah, like the amount of flex in it, like it really kind of becomes like more like an 11-inch pull, like an 11 or 12-inch pull, which is for me my worst height to pull from. It's just like weird. It just like it escalates quickly.
Interesting. So I have a series of questions for you because whenever someone says they're good at yoke, I always have technique questions. So forget about car walk. On typical yoke, what would you say is the technique thing to always keep in mind? Or if you have more than one, go ahead.
Oh, technique tips. For me, I adjust my stance depending on how heavy it is. So like the lighter the yoke is, the narrower my stance is, and then the heavier the yoke is, the wider my stance is, and then I adjust the bar height also depending on the height. So my technique with that event actually changes drastically depending on how heavy it is. I don't know about you, but
there's no technique. Just pick it up and walk it for me. I'm terrible at yoke. It's something that we've been working on. The first time I did a yoke last year, it was like atrocious, and like my feet kept crossing, like, and it got a little bit better, but it was 700 pounds, and I walked it one time in the gym, and I dropped it 7 times, and it was just like, please don't drop it. And I was like, okay, I'll try not to. For me, it's just like be steady. Like our coach always says, smooth is fast, and it was just keep my feet in a straight line the best that I can, and don't cross your feet, because if it cross your feet, you're going to drop it. It's really heavy. So for me, the technique is just going straight line. There was someone that turned the car completely sideways. It was
that was wild.
Yeah, that was crazy. Who was
I saw that. I saw that. And then she tried to crab walk it the rest of the way.
Yeah.
I saw that. I was like, just put it down. Don't be so brave.
Hey, if you want to get to that line, you'll do anything.
That was a cool moment, though.
I'd walk backwards.
I would have kept going too. Like
that was one of the moments of the show. That one and Dimitar Sabatinov was the other one. But yeah, there were some pretty big moments in the show.
Yeah. Cool to see.
I like parallel parking a car yoke.
Basically.
Yeah, that was crazy. So for yoke, maybe Erin, do you prefer lots of clearance underneath, or you prefer not to lift it very far?
I go with a pretty low pick personally, because especially like with the car yoke, like I actually went back and forth a lot, and I ended up even going back again and setting it even lower, just because. So for me, like I'm pretty good at yoke. So like the yoke, it was heavy and the car was awkward, but that was like an 80% yoke for me. So like I knew that if I picked it up, like the pick was a little bit slower because I set it so low, but I also knew that like once I pick it up, I'm not going to drop it. So like I just accept the little bit slower pick with just the mental security of knowing that it's not going to tip or hit the ground or anything like that. Like for me, that trade-off is worth it. An extra second to pick it up to feel confident that I'm not going to drop it.
Interesting perspective. And what do you usually like for hand placement on a yoke?
I go on the outside bars, and I kind of like I go straight out. I grab the uprights, and then I kind of like push like out and forward, kind of at like a 45-degree angle, like forward, because pushing out against it keeps my back tight, and then pushing forward into it kind of keeps it from swaying a little bit. So I kind of end up pushing at like an angle.
Good. All right. And then last question. I said I had a series of them. Last question. What do you do with breathing on a yoke?
I know for myself, like I've just gotten into, I know what my foot pace is, and I take a little forced exhale every third step. And I just know that that's a good pace for me. And I make myself do that right from the beginning, because I think people get in the habit of holding their breath. And then you get to a point where you have to take a breath. And if you've been holding it, you have to take a big one. So right from the beginning, I just do a little like forced exhale every third step the whole time. And that ends up being a good pace for me.
Interesting. Sounds like what people do when they want to hold their breath underwater.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for all the yoke tips. So Inez, tell us some tips about bag over bar.
Oh,
Pressure.
I know, right? I'm terrible with technique. I'm like, for bags, it's more like you need to learn where to release them. And you like, I don't like the swinging a few times thing. I just like to pick it up, one swing and go. It's just like getting that explosive power up. And it's like, it's kind of like a snatch, like release. Like you'll see my hands like go like stars. Oh, can't see my hand, but it's like 45. You know what I mean? It's not like straight up. You'll see them come out because I'm trying to throw it as high and back as I can. And you got to get a good spin on the bag too. Like you don't want it to just go like straight up. But it's just like practice, you know, and then practice with heavier bags too. Because if you just keep swinging the light bags and like the heavier bags will drag you down a little further. So it's just like, if you know you're going to have to hit a 45-pound bag, like I was swinging the 50s and the 55s with the guys in my gym because I didn't want to take the sand out of the bags. So, you know, learning how to, if you can do that, it's like those light bags fly. And like the biggest tip I have for those, like don't warm up so much on the bags. You'll lose all your explosive power if you're in the back throwing the bags over and over and over again. It's like your warm up is your first 3 bags. And then the last 3 bags are your last little bit of the run. Like you saw me in the back, I literally threw one of the bags once and that was it. Just to get a feel for how the bag felt.
Yeah, I think I did 2 throws.
Yeah.
Leading into that.
Yeah, it's an interesting perspective because some athletes really want to be super warm on certain events, and certain ones take kind of this approach. I always have that phobia, right? Like if I want to go in my garage and try a deadlift, like if I warm up too many times, I'm not going to have any strength for the actual lift. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just being dumb.
And it depends on the event too. I mean, like the bags, like I think we threw like once or twice because like that one, you don't really need to warm up a whole lot because it's not super heavy, and you don't want to like. You don't want to tire yourself out. Like it's a huge, it does take a lot of energy, and you want that explosive power. And then like the medley, like the carry drag medley, like that was another one. It's like we do like a pick or two. It's like, all right,
yeah,
like you don't really warm up for that. But you know, things like deadlifts, like things where it's like really, really heavy, you know, obviously spend more time on it. So it's event dependent.
That Husafel, that was weird. That it was like double as wide as the one I have at my gym. And as you saw in my run, I almost dropped it. I almost fell with it. And I like caught it. And luckily it was rubber, so like stuck to me a little bit. But if it was a metal one, it would have slipped right on I would have fell face first.
Didn't.
I didn't. I fell in every single medley in training. So it was like very exciting that I did not trip.
PR.
Yeah.
That's a good win. Not tripping's a good win. That's oh, me too. I know how it is. But yeah, that seems like a trend lately. Like the Husafelt at America's Strongest Man was freaking huge too. Like, might as well call it a shield at that point.
Yeah. A battle rubber shield.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a tough time with those ones too because they're wide and short. It's so close to the ground, so far away.
I got short arms, so it's hard to hold it.
Yeah, but I mean, the other thing about bag over bar, you were talking about not swinging. Like, it's funny how so many different people have so many different techniques. Like Marcus Crowder, for example, at ASM was doing he was like full on running backwards before he was throwing it up. Some people do 1 swing, 2 swings, like no swings. It's Johnny Waz, for example, who was at OSG, was also at America's Strongest Man, and he was not even fully extending. He was using like wrist snaps. So it's weird to see all the different kind of approaches to it.
Yeah, well, it depends on like your body shape too. Like especially with that one, like leverages make such a big difference that like 2 people can't really throw the bag the same way because everyone's built different. So you just have to be able to adjust.
Yeah, that's true. Like I said, I just go in the woods, I throw rocks over a fallen tree, and just make sure nobody's walking on the other side.
You gotta yell clear. That's the only way.
Or is that what it is? All right. So you care more about people's welfare than I do. Now I know what I'm supposed to do.
I'll get out of the way.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Nice. Awesome. So all right. So that's OSG. That's all the events. Favorite moment from OSG for both of you. What was your favorite moment?
I mean, I just gotta go with stones like that. Like
How about you winning?
It was just a hell of a way to end the weekend. Like because up until that, like, we joke about like our second places, and so like it was like a running joke like the whole weekend that I kept getting second place in every event.
Very
and then
consistent.
But then it was just like ending on a win was it was just a great way to end. It's like that was the moment.
Yeah, I mean, second place on every event, and that stacked lineup is nothing to sneeze at. But yeah, I can appreciate the win on stones being awesome. Inez, how about you?
Watching my teammate win, like that was the best. There's a picture of me crying my eyes out because it's just like I've seen like what she's been through, and like I've seen like her growth this year, and that was probably my best. That was the best moment for me personally. But just like event wise, I think my best moment at OSG was setting the tone for log. You know, everyone calls me an overhead specialist, and I was like, well, let's give them a show because I love log. And you know, I have some messed up elbows. I got some bicep tendonitis, and I came in feeling really good. So it was like awesome for me to do this pain free and to just have fun with it. I had so much fun. You know, I put a lot of pressure on myself. Day 2, you saw the pressure on my face. I was not having a good day. Deadlifts are not my favorite event. Losing a lot of weight. I've had a lot of like different leverages that I'm learning about. I'm like I had to rebuild my deadlift from the ground up because I look very different than what I did a year ago. And, you know, going from powerlifting style deadlifts to strongman style, learning how to ramp, hitch, learning how to use straps. It's like a completely different thing for me now. And I know for the next year, I'm going to be doing pause deadlifts because we got to practice not stiff legging everything. So bad. If you watch my third, it was the third or fourth bar, it was this like RDL. It was really bad.
Speaking of straps, you got a preference of traditional straps, figure eights, or like have you not been allowed to use figure eights in certain comps?
I like figure eights.
Yeah, I use figure eights for everything.
They're a lot faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I have a set of normal straps that I never use.
I use my normal straps to pull my knee sleeves on.
I use them for front squats to hold the bar.
Yep.
Nice. And they allowed figure eights at OSG?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep.
And deadlift suits and everything.
Whatever
basically.
you want.
Yeah, it was great.
Nice. Yeah. Speaking of deadlift suits, have you ever had a situation where certain athletes, I won't say who, like at very big competitions, said like, I used this suit that I never used before. I wasn't used to it, and that's why I didn't do well. Like, have you ever had an equipment malfunction?
I guess not really malfunction, but like for me, just like this whole year's like buying a suit was tricky because I've been losing weight all year. So like I have 4 deadlift suits now because I needed a different size suit for like every stage of losing weight. And then like it's not a malfunction, but like I put on my suit for the event, and it was too big. Like I basically slid it on like a pair of pants, and so not a malfunction. It was just like it's the difficulty of having the right size when my body's been changing so much. But like for this particular event, it ended up being fine because with the ladder, you need to be able to run between bars anyway. So it's not like you want it to be super, super tight. And like, so not really a malfunction. It was just sizing difficulty because I had no clue what my body shape was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of that, 73 kg was sort of a new weight class thrown into OSG. Is that a weight class that you run into in other shows? Like, are you planning on staying around that weight, or is that a weight class that just doesn't exist anywhere else?
I don't think it exists in any other shows right now. I think it's probably just OSG at this point. Maybe it'll start popping up in other shows. I'm not really sure. I don't plan to stay at 73 though. For me, the goal always, the only reason I cut down was because the plan, the hope is to go back up to 82 next year and hopefully win. Because I want to be the first person with titles in 2 different weight classes. Is the goal. And I knew that if I like continued to get much bigger, I wasn't gonna be able to cut down to 73 anymore. So this is really the last year. I think it would be realistic for me to do it.
That'll be incredible to see you and Nadia go head to head.
Yeah, it will be fun.
Yeah.
I gotta get a lot bigger. I gotta put on like 20 pounds.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. Nadia's a good friend of the show also.
Yeah. Oh, I love
killed
Nadia.
it.
She had a great show.
Her vipering that first log was like the biggest flex I've ever seen, and it was awesome.
No, she's awesome. She had a phenomenal show.
She had a great year. Like,
yeah,
Nadia's had a great year.
Yeah, she's competed like 17,000 times in
Yeah,
like the past 2
and
months.
won everything.
Yeah, basically.
Going with her at Rainier was awesome too. You know, she came up with it was an open class, and she was smaller than most of us. And she got third place. She showed up, and you know, she made a statement there, and I was like, oh, I've never met you before, but you are awesome. And to see her here and she got first, like, that was awesome. And she had a smile on her face the entire day, you know, super humble, and just like, she's a really good competitor.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right. I had forgotten she podiumed Rainier. That's true.
Yeah, she did. That was awesome.
Yeah, she podiumed Rainier. She did record breakers at Clash on the Coast. She was at Wuss Dubai. She's done quite a lot and succeeded quite a lot. Yeah, that's you threw around the term overhead specialist before. There's another overhead specialist.
Oh yeah, her and I are gonna go head to head one day on like a log or something. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. There's another Clash next year. You should get yourself invited.
Yeah, middleweight.
Yeah,
cut down.
I'm too big.
Doing just middleweights? No, but wait a minute. But Bobby Thompson was at it. You can do a record breaker heavyweight.
Oh, the record breaker.
Oh,
but it's a deadlift this year.
Yeah.
Oh, is it really? Okay.
Well, hopefully they do like the road record breakers at the Arnold, and then I'd like to set the, you know, I've hit off the ground 295 pounds like off the ground on the log. I've hit 300 off blocks, and that was just like in the middle of this prep just for funds. So if I like actually like built up a peak for that, you know, I don't want to break it by just like 3 pounds. You know what I mean? I'd like to go in and like 315, 320 or something like that, because I really want it to be like a record that like I feel proud of. I want to break it, you know. In powerlifting, I broke the USPA squat record last year for my weight class, the national one, and I broke it by like 45 pounds or something. And it's like I wanted to do that. I wanted to be the first one to squat 600. So it's like that's the goal for next year, and hopefully stay this weight. And you know,
you don't want to break it by 3 pounds. That's not a dig against Thor, is it?
No, no. Let's not do that.
Unintentional.
No, you sound like Eddie Hall, like when he broke the deadlift record by a lot.
It's for me. It's like personal. I know, right? And get me in trouble.
No, I'm gonna get me in trouble. Don't worry.
They're gonna see me and I'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
No, we love Thor. I didn't used to, but I've come around because Steve Schmidt told me he's a good guy, so I've come around.
Well, the bigger the dude, the bigger the teddy bear they are. It's like it's like the open class women. We were literally hugging each other and crying in each other's arms the entire weekend. We're just big softies.
Yeah. So, Erin, you told me that you're kind of singularly focused. Inez, did you pay attention to any of the other weight classes? What'd you think of Shannon Clifford?
Oh, I was not really. I was always warming up when everybody else was kind of like going. I really only got to watch like Erin and, you know, and because I would run out and just make sure I got to see her. But other than that, you know, he tries to keep me in the back so I don't get too hyped, because I like to cheer and I like to scream and like, you know, and then I'm over there like, oh shit, I'm up next. And I'm already like, my heart rate's already pounding and like the adrenaline's like way too high. But like I'm watching everybody's, you know, performances on Instagram, and, you know, I'm trying to catch up. I like to watch the live stream and just like watch it through and like
get to watch forward to actually just like sitting and watching the whole show.
And hearing the commentary too, because like I heard it was like really good. So like I want to hear and like we don't get to hear that on our side. So it's like cool to sit down and like watch it on the TV and be like, oh shoot, that's pretty cool. We're on TV.
Yeah, Big Laz and Rodzi are top notch. Like their knowledge is unbelievable, and just kind of the banter between them was. I actually DM'd them during the show. I'm like, you guys have this coordinated really well. You're kind of building upon each other's insights. Like you'll love it. It was very, very good.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, it was awesome. But yeah, the reason I mentioned Shannon is because she competed at UK Strongest Woman and did fairly well, but she's a smaller weight class. She competed 64 here, and when I watched her at UK's, I'm like, if she ever that was open, so I thought if she ever competes in her weight class, she's going to do some damage, and she ends up winning her class here.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she beat Rhiannon, which was is saying something.
Yeah, that was close though. I mean, it all came down to stones, and that was wild. I did watch their last stone run because that's what it came down to, and close call.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know you're both tired. I feel like I've kept you quite a while. So why don't we kind of wrap up by you promoting anything you'd like, sponsors, coaches, anything exciting you have coming up in the future? The floor is yours.
I mean, first shout out, I guess, goes to our coach. I mean,
Yeah.
he's here, like he's
downstairs cleaning.
Yeah. No, he's been great. Like him and like the whole team, like being here with the team has been awesome. So shout out to Alec and RP11 and everyone that helped out with us this weekend.
Yeah, and then thank you to Cerberus. I'm sponsored by Cerberus. Thank you, Ken, for giving me deadlifting straps literally 20 minutes before the deadlift event because I lost mine. And you know, I just really appreciate like all the help that Cerberus has given me. I also have Ritual Apparel. Look them up on Instagram. Ritual has the coolest shirts. You know, the coolest apparel is not just for powerlifting. So, you know, I'm their first strongman athlete, and they are, you know, it's a line for all strength sports. And hopefully you guys use my code. I'm Nez10. And just look at the cool shirts. Black Friday sales are coming up. Ritual's great. And then Aria Athleisure. Aria, thank you so much. You know, they paid for this Airbnb. We really appreciate it. And you know, Viking Nutrition, thank you too. They helped a lot. So
yeah, and then I'm gonna be working with Velasa. A lot of people haven't heard of them. They work with mostly like track and field and weightlifting, but they make really awesome shoes that are great for strongman too. So I've got some of their shoes. They make weightlifting shoes, really awesome. And then I guess rival sponsors. I'm with SPD, so we can rival on that. So I'll be working with SPD. They're branching into the strongman side of things. I know they've got some things in production that they've been primarily powerlifting, but they're branching out and they're coming over into the strongman side of things and have great shit. So I'm really excited to see what they put out over the next couple of years.
Fantastic. Awesome. So thanks again to both of you for joining this evening. I've learned a ton about your experiences at OSG, your journey to get there, and some great strongman tips. So thanks again for joining, and I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Have a great evening.
You
too.
Thank you.
Thanks.